Should you buy a home in 2021 or should you wait until 2022? Coming up on this week's Silicon Valley Snapshot. Home buyers across the Bay Area are asking themselves this question: should I buy a home in this blazing hot 2021 real estate market, or should I wait until 2022 or potentially further along the line? The basis for this question is completely understandable. After all, no one wants to buy at the peak of the market, and no one wants to buy an asset that's going to continually depreciate for the next 12 to 24 to 36 months. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the arguments for buying a home in 2021 and the arguments for waiting until 2022 or potentially further along the line. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Danny Gould. I'm the CEO of the Selling Silicon Valley Group, and we help people buy and sell homes here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So if you're thinking of moving or relocating anywhere here in the Bay Area, my team is definitely here to help. We are literally getting dozens of phone calls, emails, and text messages now from these videos every single week, and we absolutely love it. So if you're considering selling or buying anywhere in the San Francisco Bay Area, you can call us, text us, or email us, or even send us smoke signals, and we'll definitely be here to help. So let's get into the video. First, let's break down the arguments for waiting until 2022. When you really break it down, the only reason to wait until 2022 or beyond is because you believe that the market is going to drop significantly, that home prices will drop not just a little bit, not just like 2, 3, 4, or 5%. We're talking 10 plus percentage point dip. That is why you are going to wait. Could this happen? Absolutely. The possibility of the market dropping more than 10 points is definitely out there. But we need to consider the circumstances behind why that would happen, or what would drive the market to dip more than 10 points. Well, a couple of things. You'd have to have a perfect storm of an increase in supply and a sharp decrease in demand. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know that for a while now, I've argued that inventory levels here across the Bay Area are set to increase here in the next couple of months. I truly believe that by the end of this summer in 2021, we are going to see inventory levels rise beyond where they are right now. By that same token, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know that demand right now is insatiable, and any increase in supply will likely just get swallowed up by the excess demand that there currently is here in the Bay Area. Now, this is contrary to the popular belief that everyone is fleeing the Bay Area. And there is some truth to that. HousingWire.com reports that 4 major cities in California, and 2 specifically here in the Bay Area, HousingWire.com reports that 3 Bay Area cities, San Jose, San Francisco, and Oakland, all experienced double-digit gains when it comes to active listings year over year, which means there are a lot of sellers putting their home on the market right now in these cities. People are fleeing the area, yet all of that excess inventory is still being swallowed up by the buyer demand. So the argument that inventory is going to increase, well, it's already kind of happened in a lot of the big cities here in the Bay Area. And what's happened to prices in 2 out of those 3 cities? Well, they've gone up astronomically. Oakland and San Jose have both experienced incredible gains year over year in terms of home prices. And if you've watched my videos, especially last week's video, or 2 weeks ago, we covered the San Francisco housing market in great detail, and that housing market is recovering quite nicely. Inventory levels in these cities are already up, and the demand has not waned one bit. The question is, how much more inventory can these marketplaces withstand before the script flips a little bit? And that's really the million-dollar question. We don't really truly know when that is or what that number looks like. What we do know is that active inventory levels are well beyond right now in a lot of places where they were before COVID. And even though the inventory levels are higher than when they were back then, we're still seeing monumental gains in equity and in terms of home prices. Now, speaking of home equity, when it comes to foreclosures and forbearance, a lot of the people that are saying wait until 2022, wait until 2023, one of their main arguments is that there's going to be a wave of foreclosures coming on the market in 2022. Now, if you know anything about foreclosures, you will know that typically speaking, Most people who face foreclosure have the ability to sell their home before they go into foreclosure, as long as they have some equity in the property. Why wouldn't you sell your home if you have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 worth of equity? Even if you're behind on payments, you would still sell it on the open market as opposed to selling it via foreclosure. With all of the home equity gains that Bay Area homeowners have experienced over the last 12 months, not only that, but over the last 7 years, why wouldn't a homeowner who's had 5 to 7 years worth of continual equity gains not take advantage of the equity, not put their home on the open market, and just let the bank roll all over them? Because any way you slice it, you're going to capitalize and make more money if you sell your home on the open market than if you allow the bank to foreclose on you and sell it via REO. Now, obviously, if inventory levels double or triple, we're going to be in trouble. But until that happens, I really don't see a way in which inventory levels are going to keep up with the demand. In fact, inventory levels would have to double or triple in some marketplaces in order for the absorption rate to even near a neutral market in this point, which means that we need to see double or triple the amount of inventory just for us to reach a 3 to 6 month inventory level. That's a lot of additional homes. You have to understand, to double or triple the amount of inventory right now, that's a whole lot of people that didn't put their home on the market that would need to now put their home on the market. I could see inventory levels raising by even 50% of what they currently are right now, but not doubling, and especially not tripling in most marketplaces. So this idea that we're going to somehow see the script flip and all of these homes coming on the market because of foreclosures, etc., the math just doesn't add up. We're already in a lot of places 20 to 30% over where we were before COVID, and the market's still humming along. And so I just don't see inventory levels playing a huge factor in home prices going down in 2022 or beyond. The math just doesn't add up. So what if demand falls? And that is another reason why people would wait until 2022, is if suddenly every buyer on the face of the planet drops off. And of course, that's definitely not going to happen. But what would cause a drop in demand? Definitely an economic crisis of some sort is the main argument behind a drop in demand. However, what we've covered in previous videos is the fact that here in the Bay Area, we are isolated and protected from a lot of other parts of the country because of the tech bubble that we currently live in. We here in Silicon Valley are the epicenter. We are the heartbeat of tech, and tech runs the world. So to expect a significant decrease in jobs or a significant decrease in pay here in the Bay Area due to an economic crisis is slightly far-fetched. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. Of course, there could be a scenario that we don't see coming, but if the market plays out the way that it's currently playing out and everything continues to play out the way that it's playing out, tech is the world. Tech runs the world. And for us to suspect that a large portion of jobs here in the Silicon Valley are going to disappear overnight, or that payrolls are going to get slashed by 25% overnight, I just don't see that happening. And if that doesn't happen, demand will continue to stay strong here in the Bay Area for the foreseeable future. So, demand, not going anywhere. Supply, it's already gone up. The demand is there to basically absorb all of that additional inventory. And we're fine. We're in a place where right now the housing market has never been stronger. And a lot of it has to do with the factors that we're going to talk about in favor of buying a home in 2021. By the way, if you're a home buyer in today's marketplace and you're looking for a comprehensive data set to help you make a buying decision, you can go ahead and text the word data plus the neighborhood or the zip code or the area that you're looking in, and we will send that data set straight to your inbox. And if you're a home seller in today's marketplace and you're looking for a comprehensive data set to help you price your property appropriately, you can text the word data plus your property address to the number down below, and we'll get that data straight to your inbox. So if you're a home buyer, why should you buy a home in 2021? Well, number one, the rates are historically low right now. And of course, over the last 3 to 4 weeks, they have crept up a bit. But right now, being able to lock in a rate below 3% is still very possible. And to be able to do that and then have 15 to 30 years worth of payments that reflect that low interest rate is really difficult for a lot of people to turn down. And piggybacking off of that, the ability to get a loan right now, the ease by which it is to get a loan is fairly high. And by that same token, it is easier right now to qualify for a loan than it has been in quite some time. Now, it's certainly not like 2007 where everyone and their dog could get a loan, but it is a lot easier right now to qualify for loans than it has been in quite some time. Also, non-QM loans are currently in the marketplace right now. A lot of lenders have come back. You have to remember, at the beginning of COVID, most of non-QM loan products were not available. These are loan products that give the ability to certain people, like ITIN, especially here in the Bay Area, that is very popular, self-employed individuals can get like bank statement loans, etc. And of course, these products are niche products. They're not for the everyday person, but they do open up the ability for individuals to buy homes. And you never know when these kind of products will go away. So that's definitely, if you are in that position where you don't qualify for like a cookie cutter loan and you don't have like a traditional job, now is definitely the right time to be buying a home, because you don't know when these products are going to go away. You don't know when the lending practices are going to tighten up further. And when that happens, your ability to buy a home will definitely decrease. Another reason to buy your home in 2021 is the uncertainty that comes with this market. Right now, we are seeing appreciation at astounding rates, to the point where if you bought your home right now, by the end of the summer, you could be sitting on a fat stack of equity. Because we don't know when the market is going to drop, because we don't know when things are going to stabilize, because we don't know when things are going to neutralize, we do know right now that home prices are very strong, and we should continue to see those home prices appreciate at least for the next 60 to 90 to maybe even 120 days. And with that appreciation schedule comes the concept of, well, do I buy now or do I buy later? Because if I buy later and home prices dip a little bit, where they even get down to where they currently are right now, in a lot of cases, I suspect that that will be the case. Where if you buy right now, even if the market dips later on, you're still going to have a net positive amount of equity, because the market just will not dip significantly enough to wipe out all of the gains in appreciation that have occurred over the last 3, 6, 9+ months. And this is a narrative that I've seen play out time and time again in Silicon Valley, where we get home buyers coming in that say, we're going to wait for the market to drop, and the market never drops to where they currently could have entered the marketplace right now. The market could drop, and a lot of times it does. The seasonality of the marketplace here in Silicon Valley is well known. But in most cases, it drops at a point when the buyers could have bought for less money than where the market ultimately ended up dropping to 9 months down the line. There's a strong argument to be made that anyone who bought their home in March of 2021 will be sitting on over $100,000 worth of equity by the end of 2021. Now, that's not for condos or homes that are less than $800,000, but anyone who bought a single family home over $1 million in Santa Clara County, or pretty much in any of the Bay Area counties, should be sitting on quite a substantial amount of equity by the end of the year. And a lot of our home buyers, the buyers that we work with, when they bought in February of this year, they were buying what they thought was at the peak of the market. And a lot of them have already seen their neighbor's home go for over $100,000 what they paid for their home. That is incredible to see that kind of gain in that short amount of time. Now, obviously, those results are not typical, but to see that happen in real time is astounding. And I do believe that we're going to continue to see those kind of gains throughout the spring and into early summer. So in conclusion, should you wait or should you buy? The answer is, it's up to you. You know, I've laid out the arguments for and against, but I will say that there are two subsets of buyers here that I genuinely believe should buy a home sooner rather than later. The first is anyone who plans on buying in a big city. Right now in San Jose, in San Francisco, in Oakland, we're seeing a lot of people sell their homes, and inventory levels, as I mentioned before, are higher than they were pre-COVID. There are more homes for sale right now, and those inventory levels will not last forever. These types of increases in inventory are overshadowed by the large amount of demand, especially in San Jose and in Oakland, which leads me to believe that in a post-COVID world, the demand is simply going to grow off the charts for these cities. Think about it. People are moving out of the big cities right now because they want more space. But what happens post-COVID? We're going to see a lot of people flock back to the big urban centers, the big, large cities, and that's going to put even more upward pressure on prices. So right now, you have a lot of people moving out of the area. You have good amount of demand, a very healthy amount of demand, but that demand is going to skyrocket post-COVID. And so if you want a home in the city, especially San Francisco, but San Jose and Oakland too are in that same boat. If you want a home in any of those major cities, definitely buy now. Do not wait. The next subset of buyers that I would highly recommend buying now as opposed to later are the move-up buyers. Move-up buyers meaning anyone that has a condo or a townhome right now, they need more space and they're looking for that level up, that single family home. Here's why. Right now, the market is appreciating, which means that your townhome, your condo as a move-up buyer is appreciating at a very rapid rate along with the rest of the marketplace. Condo and townhome prices right now are being propped up by the strength of the single family sector. But what happens when the market drops? What's going to depreciate at a greater rate? Your townhome or condo, or the level up, the single family that you're going to buy? Of course, it's the condo and townhome that's going to depreciate at a faster rate. And so right now, even though the market is climbing, the delta between your condo and townhome and the single family home that you want to buy, it's actually decreasing. Okay, but believe it or not, it's decreasing. And when the market dips, you're going to see an increase in that delta as the market continues to drop, because that single family home is going to hold its value significantly better than your condo and townhome. So if you're looking to game the market, the best thing to do right now as a move-up buyer is to buy the single family home that's going to hold its value. You want to buy the asset that's going to hold its value better during a recession or a downturn if that does happen. So if you're hedging your bets and you're banking on the market dropping, the best strategy if you're a move-up buyer is to sell your home now while the market's good, sell the less favorable, the less desirable asset, and move into that next asset class that's going to hold its value better during a downturn. For more Bay Area housing market news, you can go ahead and click that video right there and subscribe to the channel. This is Danny Gould with the Selling Silicon Valley Group, and I will catch all of you in the next video.